What is going on, guys? It's Jack here once again, and today I'm bringing you a new little series, I guess you can say. It's called Top Notch Loadout. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through a plethora of guns and say what I feel is the best loadout for that certain weapon. So let's just start off with my favorite weapon, the MG4. Why not start with a gun that I definitely love? It's probably my favorite gun in the game, and maybe every week or so I will be posting a new video on a new gun discussing what I feel is the best loadout, okay, for that gun. I'm not going to be doing like the class loadout necessarily. I might add that on in the future, but for now I'm just sticking to the attachments to the gun. So yeah, let's get started. So if you guys don't know what the MG4 is, it is the LMG 200 rounds clip magazine gun. It is extremely effective. And the reason I like it is it holds 200 rounds, and the damage is nice, and the range, it pretty much is like my name states myself. It is the jack of all trades for guns. Excuse me there. So let's get started with the attachments. We're gonna start with the barrel, and then we'll work our way to underbarrel, and to our accessories, and then finally with the optics. So for your barrel, you have plenty of choices to choose from. There's no right or wrong. Obviously, these are all preferences and what you want to, play as, or what your kind of style is. But for me, these are what I would recommend. I'm gonna run through all of them and just explain what they mean, and then I will tell you what I feel. So first off, we have the muzzle brake. The muzzle brake will basically reduce your vertical recoil. Okay, so that means just the traditional gun, when you shoot the gun, it flies up in the air. That is what it reduces. The next up is the compensator. That reduces the side-to-side recoil. So when you're shooting, the gun will kind of sway left and right. That will reduce that. You got your Flashhider. That is pretty much just hides the burst that comes out of your gun. So it has no effect on any stats. It just is there. Heavy barrel makes for much better accuracy. And the suppressor is basically, it silences you so they don't know where you're getting hit from, and they don't see you on the minimap. So yeah. So when it comes to the barrel, I would recommend something for this gun that it depends. If you cannot handle as much recoil control, this gun might not be for you. So in other words, if I were someone who could not contain recoil, I would probably go with something like the compensator, sorry about that. Because it removes the side-to-side recoil, okay? And yes, there's the muzzle brake to remove the vertical recoil, but this is kind of like a rule of thumb for anyone. I believe that having vertical recoil is much easier to control than side-to-side recoil, because it's just a traditional, natural way to fire a gun. So, you just obviously pull down whether you're on the mouse or a controller, but the side-to-side recoil is where it really can get a little tricky by having to kind of move your mouse like left and right a little bit on just these little tiny motions. So putting on a compensator wouldn't hurt you by, removing that side-to-side recoil. That's not what I use, but it is definitely something that would not be bad at all. It would definitely be something that if I did not like the barrel that I use now, that would be what I would go to. So, next up, the Flashhider. As I stated earlier, Flashhider does nothing. It doesn't do anything in terms of stats, so you don't have to worry about Flashhider, ruining anything, your accuracy, hipfire range, stability, any of that. It just removes your bright firing gun from the map. I personally don't really use it. I don't have anything against it, but it's just not the correct weapon for me. So yeah, just, it's something that obviously if you want you can keep in mind, but I wouldn't recommend, because I feel that there are others that are more useful. Also, I forgot to mention this, the confiscator and the muzzle brake, they both have the exact same penalties and advantages. So I'm just going to list them. The damage stays completely the same at 30. The accuracy goes down to 32, so it does drop just a little bit with the muzzle brake and compensator. By the way, these are the ones, like I said, that control the vertical and horizontal recoil. Hipfire exactly the same, range exactly the same, and the stability goes up a little bit. Not much, but a little bit. And yeah, it's not that much, but you can kind of tell the difference. It's a nice attachment. Next up is heavy barrel. Now this is probably one of the more better attachments you could have. It definitely was in Battlefield 3 if you remember, heavy barrel and foregrip, that's the way to roll. But in Battlefield 4, there are a lot more options. So for the heavy barrel, this is a good attachment if you are very good at controlling recoil, okay? Let's just put that out there. If you are great at aiming and can control recoil, heavy barrel 100%. I wouldn't not recommend this for anyone. This is the thing to use. The heavy barrel, let me just tell you the stats right now. The heavy barrel, the damage stays the same. The accuracy, this is where it's strong. The accuracy goes up to 52. If you don't know necessarily what that range is, the normal accuracy for it is 40. So the accuracy jumps up like 12 points. It's pretty crazy. So I would definitely recommend using this if you know, can control the recoil. It's definitely an amazing attachment. The downside, though, obviously the stability drops significantly, making this gun very difficult to control. But if you can control it, kudos to you. You get the best of both worlds. You get the amazing, range and magazine size, and now you get amazing accuracy. And then last but not least is the suppressor. There are 4 different variants, all of these doing the exact same. It's just what you like. This is what I personally like to run, and I would recommend the suppressor almost 100% of the time. Not necessarily for every gun, but it is definitely a good attachment if you are new. Now granted, it does take quite a while to unlock. This depends honestly how quickly you get kills, but the suppressor basically removes you from the minimap and removes you from seeing where you get shot from. Like for instance, if you're running and then you see those little like red ticks kind of in the middle of your screen signifying the direction that they're coming from, it does remove those, okay? So it is very easy to kill someone if they don't see you because they don't know where they're getting hit from. It's just a crazy barrage. So this is why I'd recommend it for new players, because it does allow you to have more time before they notice where you are to kill you. So in essence, you can kind of take longer to kill them before they realize what's happening. Now the drawbacks to this gun is its range is dropped off in half. So your range, you're not going to have nearly as long of range, which this MG4 does excel in. But honestly, I think it's a fair trade-off because you can, be kind of invisible if you think about it. And it also removes your hipfire just a little bit, not much at all, only -2. It only drops down to 18. So don't worry about the hipfire aspect, but the range, if you're a big guy on range and you want to have your range, by all means, all power to you, knock yourself out, choose something that, excels in the range or something. So yeah, that's it for the barrels. Like I said, sorry about that. There's 4 suppressors. You can just choose whatever one you like the best. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Now we're moving on to the underbarrel. By far, though, I started with the barrels, and the barrels are by far, I think, the most important. And then second most important being the underbarrel. So let's get right into this. So the underbarrel, I'm just going to run through them as usual. We got the bipod. Basically makes it so you kind of set up and the recoil is pretty much non-existent. You got your ergo grip, which raises your hip fire. You have your angled grip, which raises your stability. Stubby grip, that raises your accuracy. Vertical grip, same thing, hip fire. Folding grip, stability. And potato grip, accuracy. So now I'm just going to run through these. Basically, with the bipod, I never really would recommend this gun. Maybe for this, I never really recommend this attachment, but maybe for this gun because it is an LMG, you might want to, but this LMG is a lot more aggressive, so I wouldn't recommend it necessarily for this. Maybe something for like the Type 88 or something. A bipod would go better, but if you want to kind of, I guess, quote-unquote role play, in Battlefield, running a bipod would kind of look cool because that's kind of what they would do in real life. For me, I never use the bipod. There are very, very, very few situations where I would. So if you ever see gameplay of me using the bipod, just know like I never really use the bipod, and quite honestly, I wouldn't really recommend it. That's definitely a very special play type who would enjoy that. Next up, ergo grip. Basically, this raises your hip fire accuracy. So for this gun, that wouldn't be bad at all. That would be really good. I definitely would recommend something like this, just because what it does is it just makes it so you can run it. It just lowers your hip fire, or raises it, whatever you want to say. So since it has 200 rounds, you can really get those flank offs and just run behind the enemy and just shred them, okay? So yeah, that's pretty much it for the ergo grip. It says right here, it improves hip fire, reducing the penalty added for shooting on the move by 50%, so you can run and gun as the name suggests, and that's great for flanking. Next, we have the angled grip. Angled grip is a modern grip that aims to improve firearm ergonomics and control. It improves stability by reducing the first shot recoil. So this is pretty much guaranteed that you will get your first shot off. I definitely recommend this attachment for pretty much any gun. It is usually one of the first attachments you get is the angled grip, I believe anyways. So I would definitely recommend the angled grip. I use that all the time. Really good. Next up, stubby grip. Stubby grip is a shortened foregrip that provides a good middle ground between ergonomics and weapon control. It improves accuracy by reducing the automatic fire penalty by 15%. So basically, your accuracy is going to be a lot better. If you have, stubby grip in addition to, say, heavy barrel, which, as I stated before, is really good on accuracy, you will have extreme accuracy. You will just pinpoint people. But now, for something like this, you will have to keep in mind that the recoil is going to be quite atrocious. So just, keep that in mind for something like this. I would definitely recommend, if you're running a heavy barrel, to probably run something that, like the angled grip. Yeah, probably like the angled grip, because it does reduce recoil for shot recoil. That would be definitely a good combo, angled grip, heavy barrel, if you want to, maybe have a middle ground. So next up, you got yourself the vertical grip. This is a traditional foregrip that helps steady your weapon in run and gun situations. It improves hip fire by reducing the penalty added for shooting on the move by 50%. So this is exactly the same as the ergo grip. This really, the only difference is in the look of it, like no joke. So it's all up to you what you think looks cooler. Just go into the game and look yourself, see what you think is better. For style wise, there is no difference. Ergo grip, vertical grip, both good for running and gunning. Next, you have your folding grip. Folding grip is a customized folding grip to improve the ergonomic application of firepower and improve stability by reducing the first shot recoil by 33%. Exactly the same as the angled grip. So, whatever you like better, just totally up to you. And then last but not least, the potato grip. It's a rounded foregrip named for its visual similarity to a classic potato. It improves accuracy by reducing the automatic fire rate penalty to 15%. And good old dice says do not eat. That's a nice touch, dice. That's a brilliant touch. So basically, same thing as a stubby grip. I'm kind of repeating the same stuff over again, and that's exactly correct. Just choose what you like. Whatever looks cooler. That literally is the only difference. Now, you might unlock some before others. I know the potato grip, it does take a while to get that, as it is a battle pack item. I'm pretty sure all the time. I don't think you ever can unlock it besides battle packs. So, stubby grip, way to go until, if you like how the potato grip looks, switch over to potato grip. Even though you can't ever really see it on the gun, that's just, whatever fits. So yeah, next we're going to go up to the accessories. Accessories, these are pretty much your preference, except for when it comes to hip fire. That's the only difference I can say. First off, you got your magnifier, which basically turns your sight into 2 times more than it is note this only works with red dot sights. This is somewhat effective. I feel like this is something that it tried to make it work, but it just doesn't, at least for me personally. I never really use the magnifier ever. There's never any times that I would really want to use it, so I usually lay off of that. Next, you got your flashlight, good old flashlight. Extremely straightforward. You should all know what that is. It's just a flashlight on your gun, which does blind people when you turn the corner, so if that's something that you want to use, you know, go ahead. Next, you have your tactical light, and this is one of my favorite attachments, I'd definitely say, and basically what that does is when you aim down the sight, so you know you can see your red dot sight, when you aim, the light turns on. Other than that, it's off. And I think this is extremely helpful for, you know, those situations where you don't want people to see your light, but you don't really want to turn it off, because now, you know, you only have it on when you aim, and the only reason you'd really be aiming is when you are shooting at an enemy. So definitely one of the better attachments. That is usually a battle pack item, so you won't be really unlocking that until you get some battle pack pickups. Next, you got your laser sight. Very straightforward laser. It is always, pretty much always, your first attachment that you ever unlock. Definitely recommend it. It is nice, reduces your hip fire recoil, but it does look like, the look of it is it's very noticeable for people to see. Tri-beam laser, same thing as the laser. Green laser sight, same thing, just, you know, whatever you prefer in laser light combo. You can just toggle between the laser and the light. So yeah, that's pretty much it for accessories. I personally recommend, honestly, with either laser sight, tactical light, or nothing, just because I don't like being seen on the map. So yeah, off to the optic. This is whatever you prefer. I'm not going to really get into detail. Just choose an optic that you like. I personally am a big fan of the Coyote and Cobra, but just choose whatever you like. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it for this episode of Top Notch Loadout. As always, thanks so much for watching, and I'll definitely be posting more of these in the future. But yeah, see you guys later. Peace out.